Hello, good afternoon. This is Jose Barahona, and welcome to our webinar. This is what Magaya can do for you in 2 weeks. This is one of our customer success webinars. Today is January 23rd, and we're starting on time, so we want to thank you for the opportunity of being here with us. I'm just not here by myself. I'm also here with Jeanette.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending. We really appreciate you taking the time today to be with us for our second customer success webinar. I'm Jeanette Fonseca, your customer success manager, and I am joined with Jose Barahona, a need to know introduction, our general sales manager.
Well, thank you. You know, I need a better picture. I keep telling these guys in marketing I need a better picture, but we'll keep working with the one I have. So, Jeanette, what do we have here today?
Okay, today we're going to give you a walkthrough, a day-by-day assessment of what you can do in 2 weeks with the Magaya system. So we'll begin with day one. Okay, day one, we want you to assess your day-to-day operations, assess what you might need, what you don't need, anything that could better your business.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of times when people buy Magaya or they've been with Magaya for a while, they basically say, hey, Jose, how am I supposed to do this setup? And sometimes they've been with us for a while, so we want to make sure that we give the customers who've been with us for a while, those who are just starting, or some of you who just began with us, the right setup. So the first day one is really just that basic setup. And what's some of the basic ones that you think we should do?
Well, the basic one is your logo. You want to show who you are, show your brand awareness, your image to everyone in operations. You want to show what you have to offer. You want to show your look. You want to, really show who you are and what your business does. And the first thing that we always recommend our customers, upload your company image, your logo, to really show who you are.
You know, apart from the logos, which is always great, how the customer sees you is really the documentation that you give them. And like it or not, we are in logistics and it's all about paperwork. One of the other things that's important is being able to put your disclosures. So you want to be able to say, hey, cutoff time for warehouses is Thursday at 2 p.m. You may want to go ahead and put that on your quotations and also in the warehouse receipts every time you create them. So you have the ability to make these changes to make the documentation yours. Remember, once you become a member of Magaya, Magaya is actually working for you. It's like one more employee that is there to help you with your day-to-day business. So these are the first two assessment and the basic setup that I want to do on day number one. So let's go ahead and talk about day two. You know, day two is very important because the first thing people say is, Jose, I have up to 1,000 quotations, but Magaya just keeps giving me number one or number two. How can I make this change? Well, we want to make sure that you can go ahead and set up that configuration. It's fairly simple. All of you have a maintenance folder in Magaya. A lot of times you don't see it, or you see it the first time and you don't look at it again. Understanding that there's a main configuration that allows you to make changes, not just to the document number. So in here, you're seeing a screen that gives you the ability to set that original starting number for any one of these operations. Now, if you have the supply chain, you have up to purchase orders, sales orders. Most of you are on cargo, so you'll be able to actually go in there and make changes to that additional quotation. The other thing that's important is you being able to actually restrict how much data is seen when you look at a list. There's nothing worse than when you open up a warehouse receipt list and you have thousands of warehouse receipts. In that general section, you can change it and say, only show me 500. The other thing that's important is you being able to actually give access to your employees. Very simple. You can go to your employees, go to permissions and say, this person works in the warehouse. This person does accounts receivable. And the system automatically presets which folders they can and cannot access. Gives you a ton of opportunities to have less headaches when you have an employee that shouldn't be looking at your accounting. So it's very important for you to set that up on day number two.
Definitely. Thanks, Jose. Let's move on to day number three, the binder up. Now, this has to be probably one of my favorite plugins that we have to offer our customers. Being in freight forwarding for 12 years, it is highly important to have proof that a shipment arrived to you in good condition, in bad condition, proof of cargo release. And these are definitely very important in your day-to-day operations, especially in the warehouse. You want to show that containers have been loaded, they've been sealed properly. You need that container number and that seal number to show up, and you want it all uploaded into one area, either your warehouse receipt or your shipments. And this is definitely something that we love our customers to use and get the most benefit from it. A lot of our customers have very smart ways of using this app. One of our favorite customers, he tends to take pictures of the driver's licenses of the truckers that are delivering cargo or taking cargo out of their warehouse. And it's honestly a great feature to have, and I really love it.
You know, it's interesting. Most of us, you know, most of our customers are small, medium-sized businesses. So a lot of times you have one of the owners walking around the warehouse, and he gets a phone call, and the client says, "Hey, I didn't get a picture of X cargo. Do you mind sending me a picture of this crate, how it was done, or this damaged box?" Well, imagine your owner or yourself walking to the warehouse, you get that call, you open up the Binder app, you scan the label, then you take a picture and you upload it. It's like you're seeing there right there where you can actually submit these pictures, and you can tell the customer on that same call, "Hey, you know what? Just reload that warehouse receipt and go in there and view the actual pictures I just sent." This is all just in time. Most of you understand just in time warehousing, just in time logistics. Well, imagine the Binder app being that just in time pictures for you to be able to upload anything you want. I use the example in the warehouse, but the same can be done just like Jeanette said earlier, which is, "Hey, I'm loading a container. Let me show you how it was properly loaded." It gives you an opportunity to give the feedback right back to the customers. It's all about giving the information to the customer, and it changes the way you actually communicate and give information to the customer. He's no longer expecting all of this tomorrow. He's actually getting the information right away, which is very, very ideal. Day number 4 is important. A lot of you do many pickups locally. So you sit there and say, "You know, Jose, I've given my driver 5 of 6 pickup documents for him to pick up." Now, the driver is going to sit there and mix up the papers and go to the wrong place, go the furthest place first, the shortest place last. Hey, how do I get this guy to do a process of the system telling me go to this location and the following location, third, fourth, fifth, and gives them a nice route? Well, that's what the Final Mile app is for. Now, imagine the truck driver's out there with his app. You get a brand new pickup and you can't get a hold of him. Well, it's very easy for you to go ahead and go into your Magaya system and tell the system, "Hey, send Jose a new pickup to his application." The system will update that new location of where it needs to be picked up. And that's called the Final Mile. It used to be called proof of delivery, the POD, but we've added the actual ability for you to do pickups because these apps change. What you see today may not be available tomorrow because we've added more things to it or we've removed as the market trends change. So it's very important for you to be able to say, "Hey, I have a couple of trucks. I'm manually giving paper to my truck drivers. Can I go ahead and use this app?" And the answer is yes, you can. Now, just like the Binder app, you're also able to take some pictures, not pictures, excuse me, take the actual signature of the people when they're actually receiving the cargo. That updates your system in Magaya. So imagine someone saying, "I never received this, I never signed for it." And you can say, just like the people in these other large delivery companies, "What's your last name? Sign here." And you have the same capability as the larger companies in order to use to service your clients. You can do all this through the Magaya system.
Thank you, Jose. Now, day 5, LiveTrack. A lot of our customers do use this. It's honestly a great way to better your operations. This allows customers 24/7 access worldwide to your pickup orders, warehouse receipts, cargo releases, shipments, sales orders, purchase orders, etc. It is honestly something that your customers can use to not have to constantly be calling you, emailing you, asking you, "Hey, I haven't received my warehouse receipt." This plugin allows them access to getting the paperwork that they need. They don't need to constantly be on top of you for anything. You don't have to send anything. It is all there in one place. You could have access it on your desktop, on our mobile app, and it honestly is a great function to have. It reduces a lot of traffic into your operations on a daily basis. It's really a great feature to have.
You know, think about having one or two or three more employees that can answer questions without having them on payroll. That's really what the LiveTrack app does. You know, the customer can download this on his or her phone, and they will have this portal to go in there and answer their own questions. A lot of times, the customer is going to call you and say, "Hey, did you receive X? I have this waybill or tracking number. Do you have it?" And you have to stop what it is that you're doing, which is very important. Log out, minimize what you're doing in Magaya, go to a new operation, look for it, go to the warehouse, find out what it is. Okay, yeah, it's here. Maybe the customer now wants a picture. Well, guess what? All of that can be done through the LiveTrack. Think about not just the app, but the actual portal that the customer is going to be receiving. So it can go through your website. So we call it the LiveTrack portal. They will be able to answer their own questions, download documents. They may even be able to upload documents over to you. I have a lot of clients who ship vehicles from the Houston area in Texas, and they say, "Jose, sometimes a customer has to send me a copy of that title before I can do anything." Well, guess what? Through that portal, the customer can say, "Let me upload a title so you can see what I have," and it gets the process going. So it's very important for you to be able to actually communicate with the customer. Again, a lot of these apps that we're working and giving you is really the opportunity to help the customer experience. Yes, you're all our customers and we want to help you with your experience with Magaya, but in reality, everything that we do here is the experience for your final customer. Either if it's a picture, if it's a specific tracking app that we have here, the ability for them to be able to say, "Oh, great, that's what I was looking for." It's less phone calls. Some of us, and I say us because we used to be in logistics, just like Jeanette mentioned earlier, we would have to not just be worried about making shipments, not worried about talking to customs, going to the airline, dealing with truck drivers, but also dealing with that customer saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't know where your cargo is. Let me have a look. Give me a few minutes," and stopping that whole chain that you were working on in order to answer that question. So the way I see it, the LiveTrack app is one more person, two, three, four, five, or six that are on your payroll. You don't have to pay them. The customer can go online and be able to do that. Now, I hate this analogy, but I'm going to give it anyway. You ever been to a supermarket and all of a sudden there's no cashier, says got to do everything on your own? Well, that's exactly what you're doing with a customer. You're actually having him or her go in there and view their own information through the app or through the portal. There is no cashier. But guess what? The end result is still the same. You're going to leave paying with those groceries. You're going to get those groceries home and you're going to continue with your day. And that's really what you want. You want that self-service atmosphere to happen with people who are using you and your Magaya system. At the end of the day, everything we do here is for your customers. Now, talk about transaction tracking. That's another one. Now, this is not necessarily, an app. This is actual something that can happen in your website. And what we're showing you here is the actual screenshot of an email that is being sent to a customer. A transaction tracking is really what that name implies. It's per transaction. So you make a warehouse receipt, it can send an email. You make a shipment, it sends an email. Those of you in accounting, you make a new invoice in Magaya, guess what? You can actually send an invoice. And that's what you're seeing on that inner screen on the right-hand side. Can we send a booking, cargo release, invoice, all of that? Oops, excuse me. All of those different types of transactions to be sent. Now, it's not just in the email that you get a link. You can actually use it on your phone. Now, some of this technology may say, "Jose, that's a little bit redundant. Why would I want to use an email if I already have the app?" Some customers may prefer an email. Some customers may not necessarily want to use the app. So we want to give your customers the ability to actually select how they receive information. The key in logistics nowadays is that you are actually changing how you are working with the customers. Some of you are changing from freight forwarders to people who buy and sell inventory. Some of you are changing from a full-fledged, hey, I just do freight forwarding, to a whole supply chain, the whole thing from day 1 to day 60. So it gives you an opportunity to communicate one more way within the actual system. Again, it gives them a link, it gives them documents, it gives you an opportunity or one more opportunity to communicate with the customer without you having to do it in a reactive manner. It gives you the opportunity to actually be more proactive and sending and pushing information, and then instead of them pushing you to change what you're doing and giving the information they're looking for. Okay?
Thanks, Jose. Now, day 7, accounting. Accounting is an integral part of your day-to-day business. You need to get paid. You need to send out payments correctly. Here, we recommend that you set up automatic charges. Now, I used to be in freight forwarding, like I said before, for 12 years. The biggest thing is making sure we get paid and we get paid properly. We set up automatic charges for, let's say, in and out fees. Our in and out fees tend to be the same price constantly. We don't really change that. So we automatically set up that charge. Or if we have a container going, let's say, to Honduras, we want it to have the same rate each time we enter a container, a 20-foot container going to Honduras. And this is honestly a great way to process your invoices a lot faster and easier, just because you have these rates already set up automatically onto your system.
One of the other ways that we can also use this, Jeanette, is I was a warehouse manager, and I had warehouse workers that I didn't want them seeing what my in and out charges, or in this case, having them add them, because I didn't know. So I wanted the system to generate those in and out charges automatically without someone having to click on the add button and making the wrong charge. Trust me, there's nothing worse than a customer who got charged wrong when he was told this is your rate. So this is a way for you to actually guarantee that the customer is going to have his or her own rate done correctly, and you're also guaranteeing that those people who are in the warehouse, sorry guys, don't push the wrong button and send the wrong information to the customer. Again, warehouse receipts quotations are usually the first transactions where the customer is going to have some sort of interaction. We want those interactions to actually be very positive. So that's the key. Now, we do have a little bit of a poll that we want to ask, is we want to know how many of you actually have automatic charges. So bear with me one second while we go ahead and launch this. And it's a very simple question. How many of you have automatic charges? How many of you don't? That way we can see if through these answers we'll make one webinar where we just talk about, hey, how to set up automatic charges, or how to set up these other different plugins that we're talking about now. So we'll give you a few minutes to go ahead and get started on those charges, and we'll go from there. So we'll give you guys 1 minute to complete, and we'll start in 1 second. All right, we got 30 seconds. No rush. I know it's a very tough question. All right, 10 seconds. We got 80% of us who voted. That's great. All right, so let's go ahead and close. And it's interesting that 53% of us said yes, and 47% of us said no. So that's really, really interesting. Close. That was very close. But, it's like everything in freight forwarding is always 50-50. You ship air, ocean, 50-50. So it's interesting. We definitely want to have a webinar in the future to highlight how to set these up, Jeanette. So let's write that down. So we can go ahead and have a webinar on how to set up those accounting transactions, even if they're simple enough as an in and out, or how to get your quotations to have certain charges automatically appear, even if they're at zero balance. Okay, great. Let's continue. All right, so day number 8, and this is important for me because there is nothing worse than a customer calling you and finding out, hey, how much cargo do I have in the warehouse? How much do I have of X part number? And you have to sit there and go, let me send you that Excel. You send him the Excel. It comes back and he says, hey, I shipped 20 of these, 35 of these 2 months ago. Why are they still showing? Let me talk about basic reporting and warehouse and operational reports. Excuse me, Magaya has over 70 reports that allow you to be able to work anywhere that you see a list. So, for example, pickup order list, warehouse receipt list, shipment list. All of those lists give you an opportunity to actually make reports. In this example, we want to show you how to go to the warehousing folder and then go into the actual commodity and item definitions and inventory definitions. It allows you to go in there and tell the system, hey, I want an in and out, or I can add inventory. Some of you say, Jose, can I add inventory in Magaya? Some of you call us and say, hey, I want to buy a new Magaya system. Okay, what do you want to buy? I want to buy a system that helps me with the inventory. You don't need to buy one, sir or ma'am. We actually have it integrated. Let us show you how to add an inventory, part numbers. And you can also not add them one by one, as the example shows here. You're able to actually import from an Excel all that information in one place. So you're able to go in there and tell the system, hey, I have an inventory item that is resellable. So I need to sell this for my customer, buying and selling. I need to do purchase orders. Or I can go in there and say, hey, I have this specific item. In this example, we have gloves, and we need to have specific custom fields that don't exist. I needed to say what size and the actual material. So you have a lot of flexibility of going into these reports and telling the system, and a basic report would be, hey, go to the warehouse receipt list, go to the actions button, and say reports by status. Now you have a chance to see what's in progress, what's on hand, what has been shipped, what's on in transit, what has been delivered, what's at destination in your agent office. All of that the system can generate based on the statuses of the changes of communication between the network, between one location and the next. We'll get to the network in a minute because that's really another important aspect of using the Magaya system that we want you to use. But really, the reporting that's available in Magaya is extraordinary. There's nothing better than going into your warehouse, going into the actual warehouse receipt list, telling the system, hey, show me my inventory by location, and giving a list for your warehouse men to go into that location and say, hey, verify that this actual inventory is there. Go ahead and do that inventory. And they can do it by location and come back to you and say, we have X pieces there. This is correct. This is not correct. This is correct here. And you don't have to recreate the wheel. And some of you are doing this manually on a weekly basis. So definitely it's important for you to go in there and get yourself, I guess, I'm looking for the word here, not recognized, but get familiar.
That's a good one.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Get familiar with all these different reports that are there. So it's very important for us to be able to go in there and look at what reports are available. And again, anything that says list, warehouse receipt list, item definition list, commodity list, that's my favorite one. It gives you from A to Z, when it was arrived, when it was ordered, when it was shipped, what airway bill was shipped on, what's the booking number, what is the arrival date, all of that in one main place. So it's very, very important for you to get familiarized with those specific reporting. Even if to you is basic, to the customer is information that they need on a daily basis. Okay?
Thanks, Jose. Now, day 9, the Magaya network. A lot of our customers either don't know too much about it, don't know how to use it, but they have it in their Magaya system. It's a great way that provides infrastructure for Magaya software users. Imagine you need to speak to someone that's a customer of yours in Brazil that is a Magaya user as well. You could communicate with them on a chat. It's basically like a Facebook Messenger. You could send information, you could speak back and forth regarding a shipment. It allows you quick and easy access to your final destination if they are a Magaya user. It's a great tool to have. I, as a freight forwarder, used it quite a bit when I had to communicate with the guys in the warehouse. You know, sometimes you're in a huge warehouse building and it takes you a good bit to get to your warehouse manager. You could easily tell them, hey, pull receipt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out I'm going to get you a cargo release now. And then it allows you to move the process a lot faster. And it's really a great tool to speak to customers one-on-one or your colleagues one-on-one.
The network reminds me of being able to communicate with people at the speed of logistics. Because no customer ever calls you and says, hey, I need this shipped next week. Usually they say, I need this shipped yesterday. And you have to run around and get everything done. Well, imagine being able to communicate at that speed, where you can, with a click of a button, send your whole consolidation with 100 houses to your agent, and they will be able to download it, look at the documents just as you prepared. They have the ability to actually put in local charges, so they can start their process of receiving that cargo when it's there and doing the clearing and finally the delivery. The network is how Magaya has also been recognized with the different award. You know, I always make the joke that we have the only network that's not social. So we are going to make changes to that Magaya network, and I'm probably going to eat my words and say, well, now it's very social. So we're going to see some big changes coming up, but we need more people to really get familiarized with the network. I have had the opportunity to work with people in 80 different countries doing logistics with Magaya, or let me rephrase that, working in Magaya with the logistics companies. There's people who I can call on and say, hey, I need help in Nigeria. Or what my clients like to do is they like to call me and say, Jose, do you have someone in Spain? Do you have someone in Colombia? Do you have someone in Honduras? And the answer is always, yes, I do. And when the connection is great, I'm the hero. When the connection is not so great, Jose, you gave me someone who I didn't like. Well, I want to get away from the middle and put you in the place to make that connection. If you go to the Magaya network, you have an opportunity to put in your company profile, and you can search by country. You can search by keyword. Maybe you need someone who does Ro-Ro in Cotonou or in Nigeria, in Lagos. Guess what? You can go ahead and type Lagos Ro-Ro, and it's going to give you companies who have those keywords. And there's nothing better than you working with someone across the world with the same platform. It's very powerful. There's nothing worse than receiving a Excel document from another user saying, here's what you're going to receive. And all they have is a booking number, a container number, a seal, and the amount of pieces with nothing else. So trust me, I've come from that. I've left that behind, and now we're working within the Magaya network in order for you to be able to communicate at the speed of logistics. And that's what I like to say about the network, even if it's the only social network that's not social when it comes to logistics. All right?
Now, day 10, we've reached the end. We want you to take the time on day 10 to really assess every recommendation that we've offered you. We want you to see, will it work for me? Will it not work for me? Will all of these work for me? We want you to really see if this will improve your business. We want to do everything in our power to improve your business and help you succeed. That's what we're here for. If you are happy, we're happy. If you're succeeding, we're succeeding. That's what we want for our customers. We just want to see you and be successful.
One of our co-CEOs asked us, Jose, what does Magaya produce? And I sat there and I said, we produce software, we produce applications, we produce communication, we produce electronic communication. And he says, no, we produce happy customers, Jose. That's why we exist. And it really dawned on me that, you're right. Magaya is a software company, yes, but our role is to make you guys happy, to make sure that you can have as much fun doing what you love, which is logistics, as stressful as it is, and it is a fun career to be on, and make that part of the logistics experience with the software. We want you guys to enjoy what investment you've made in the software. And it's not just the initial investment. All of you keep growing. You know that when you purchase Magaya is not the same Magaya that you have now. Some of you that I see here have been with us for over a decade, and it's an honor to say that and to serve you. We've created Jeanette's position to ensure that you can continue to have success. So yes, on day 10, we want you to sit back and say, all right, I am using the actual LiveTrack app. I am using the binder, or I'm using the network, and say, hey, how can I move this forward? How can I get better information? Now, some of you only reach out to us when you have problems, and forgive us, sometimes we only call you when you have problems. We want to reverse that. In the same way that I'm asking you to be less reactive and more proactive with your customers, we want to do the same. That's why Jeanette is here. Jeanette and I work together in being able to say, hey, Jeanette, let's call this customer and let's help him out. He has a lot of phone calls to support. Let's see what we can do to help him out. And we pay you a visit and we find out what it is that you're doing. And there's nothing better than when the customer says, well, the people who had Magaya, who knew Magaya, are no longer here. I have a new set of people. They don't know Magaya. And it gives us an opportunity to start working on getting those people trained, getting those people certified in the future for them to be able to work. And at the end of the day, you've made the decision to be part of Magaya. We are here to help you. We don't want you to struggle. If you struggle, we struggle. So we want to make sure that we can take you step by step through all this process. So on day 10, and even it could be 10 days from now, and say, Jose, I did try the Binder app. I don't know if it's for me. Well, why not? Let me know. What can we make it better? Or I am trying that Final Mile app, and I just can't seem to work. Well, give us a call. Jeanette's going to give you her email. That way you can reach out to her. And trust me, I want people to reach out to her. One of the things that I told her is I want you to enjoy visiting customers. It's part of what I did. It's part of what I do. I don't have a chance to go out there as much, but it's always fun to see the growth and see what you have. So we do want you to assess. We want you to contact us with questions. We have departments that handle questions and answers, but we definitely want to hold your hand where we need to hold your hand and guide you to where you need to go to get to that level that all of you want to get. Not one customer that I have in the 14 years in Magaya has ever said, I bought Magaya so I can stay the same way where I am now. Everyone always wanted more market share. Everyone always wanted better documents, better communication, the ability to do what they do better. That's why we're in business. Now, we have one more poll, right, Jeanette?
Yeah, one more.
Perfect. So let's have a look. Now, this one here is basically what feature do you want to implement? We want to know, hey, if you were to go ahead and implement any one of these, which ones would you like to use? Would you like to actually use LiveTrack app, Binder, the Final Mile, transaction tracking, or have a look at the logos and customization? We want to be able to do that because I definitely want Jeanette to send you an email and say, hey, you definitely want to go ahead and use this one. Here's the information. We may send you a knowledge base to get you started. We may ask for you to come visit us. You know what? Some of you are here in South Florida and has never come to our headquarters. We'd love for you to come by and take a look at what the investment that you have done in Magaya has for you in headquarters. There's always an open door. You come by and say, I need to speak with so-and-so, we will receive you. And if we're in a meeting, I will have someone definitely receive you and help you out in any case we have. I love headquarters. I love visiting customers and when they come and see us. So we'll go ahead and give you guys about 15, 20 more minutes to have a look at what we can do next. Now, this poll here, Jeanette, I really want us to have a webinar just on the one that has the most votes. Now, lucky me, we're probably going to have a couple that are tied up, and we're going to have to do a couple webinars, but we'll see what we have and come up with. So we'll give you 10 more minutes, 10 more seconds. All right, 5 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and close this poll. It's interesting. See what we got, Jeanette. We've got the LiveTrack app at 61%. Okay, great. Followed by Binder, 56%. And we have a tie for transaction and logos and customization at 44%. Last but not least, Final Mile with 39%. That's really interesting. We're definitely going to work on giving you guys some information. We all have your email addresses, so we'll send you some information from our knowledge base regarding the LiveTrack app, and we're going to have a webinar regarding just using that LiveTrack app. Now, I understand you're going to say, Jose, I've seen it. Oh my goodness, I've seen it a couple of times. Have you tried it? We want you to try it. Maybe we'll have an interactive one. We'll go ahead and turn on the app and have you follow along. The idea is for you to be able to get the information that you need in order for your customers to experience um, that added level of service. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. All right. So this comes to an end, Jeanette.
Great. Thank you, Jose. If there's any questions, we'll leave it open for you just for about 2 minutes. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer anything that you might have for us.
Just 2 minutes? No, we can be here all afternoon.
Oh, man.
All right, so let's have a look at some of the questions. Now, remember, there is Jeanette's email. I want you guys to go ahead and email her.
Yes, please bombard me with anything that you have.
I don't want to hear no complaints later that you get too many emails, all right? This is great. Definitely email us. Hey, let us know. Sometimes I only get a chance to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly from my customers. I want to hear it from across the board, okay? So it's important for us to react and help you with what you need. Now, we have a question. Is the LiveTrack app for free? It's a good question. Some of you guys have LiveTrack portal. We want you guys to try the LiveTrack. In fact, one of the things that we've done is your customer can actually download the LiveTrack app, and he can actually reach out to you and say, hey, I'm trying to use this app, but it tells me it's not working. So the LiveTrack app is an app that you pay for, and we bundle it with other services that you can use, okay? Now, some of you will say, Jose, I only have one license. I need the LiveTrack app. We're going to have to add a few more services in order for that to work for you there, okay? So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and let you know what the cost is depending on which services you currently have within the Magaya system. Somebody is asking me, ¿el sistema puede trabajar completamente en español? Sí. They're asking me if the system can be used in Spanish. Cada vez que uno entra al sistema, le va a pedir la oportunidad de escoger el lenguaje. What I'm saying here is every time you log into the Magaya system, it's going to give you the option for you to select what language you want to use. And we have English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Has the Binder app been set for tablets? You know, the Binder app is actually set up for mobile applications. So yes, you can go ahead and put it on a tablet. As long as that tablet has some sort of connectivity, so they can upload the pictures, you can actually use that. Yes. Let's see. How fast do, let's see.
No, how do I search for members in a certain country through the network?
That's a good question, Alfred. Well, it's fairly simple. You open up the Magaya network. You go to the company profile. First of all, you got to have your own profile because people are going to look for you as you're looking for others. So fill that out. But right next to that, there's a tab that says search. Now, if you click on the search, it's going to give you the opportunity for you to look by country, by city, or by keyword. You can go, or by company name, and you can go ahead and go through that process and find out those companies that are there. This is very easy. All of you always ask, do you have somebody in this country? But in reality, you should be asking for the port that you're looking for, but we won't get into that. Let's see. Okay, somebody's asking, ¿cómo podemos probarlo y tener detalles de los costos? This is great. I'm actually working on my English and Spanish, so this is wonderful. Now, someone just asked, how can we try it and have detail of cost?
Let me know.
That's my favorite language. So, lo que puede hacer, caballero, es mandarle un correo a Jeanette Fonseca, jfonseca@magaya.com, y ella con todo gusto le va a ayudar a probarlo y tener los detalles de los costos. So, all you have to do is reach out to jfonseca@magaya.com, and she will inform you of any questions. Again, I'm available, but I'm going to have her be that filter and being able to point you in the right direction. Okay? De nada. You're welcome. Okay. I think that's about it for questions. That was very good. So we'll give you guys one more minute. I know Jeanette wants to get off this webinar right away, but I'd like to keep her here waiting.
He likes to see me suffer a little bit. I'm not great at public speaking, but I hope I did a good job for you guys.
You did great. And no, I don't like to make you suffer. I'm your boss. It's my job. All right. Let's see. The presentation that we just checked is the Magaya implementation process. Well, you have to remember, once you purchase Magaya, there is a process that you have to go through. And it's very simple. We are going to ask you to take part in learning about the product, learning about the system itself, and then one of our implementation staff will reach out to you, set up a date of when they're going to start kind of implementing the whole process. What ends up happening is the customer says, "Hey, how do I add a user? How do I add a customer?" Through that whole online learning system that we have, gives you the opportunity to get all that started before you actually get with an implementation person. Okay? And we're constantly adding more content to how people learn. We just recently acquired new talent that is going to change the way you, our customers, learn from us, and it's really impressive. I wish to give you more details. I just got a demo from what's going to be coming out, and let me tell you, it's very, very exciting. So we have Marie. Some of you have talked to her. She normally used to write our case studies. So Marie, she's doing a great job working with us regarding all of the actual training and how do we train you. So hi, Marie.
Hey, Marie.
Shameless plug for Marie.
No, she's honestly great at what she does. The knowledge base, Magaya University, everything to help improve your business and all your knowledge for Magaya. She's the one behind it all, and we honestly appreciate everything that she does, and she's honestly great.
All right, enough about Marie. All right, well, listen, we want to thank you all for joining us. We have some great notes that we've taken as to what you want to implement. We want to have Jeanette reach out to you. We're going to go ahead and have marketing send out a couple of emails to say thank you for joining us. It's always fun. We're trying to make these webinars 45 minutes or less because we know you're busy. We want you to get something that you can implement right away, and it gives you the opportunity to be able to do that. Okay? Let's see. We're trying to, well, Mr. Medina says we're trying to implement. It's somebody's asking Mr. Medina, hey, we're trying to, have any special plans? Yes, we always have special plans, especially when a customer's trying to reach out to Magaya. Now, I think you've been working with one of our reps locally in Panama, but I'd love to talk to you. I will go ahead and reach out to you, Mr. Medina, so we can go ahead and take a look at what we can do for you. Okay? Again, the idea here is to work and help you help your business grow. That's what we're here to do. So I will reach out to you personally, sir, with Jeanette also. Okay?
I think that was the last one.
All right. Perfect. Well, everyone, we are just about that 45-minute mark. I don't want to go over because then it's boring. Have yourself a great afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Jeanette, you are amazing. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Like Jose said, it's really a great honor to be able to help you guys in any way that we can. Like we said before, we're here for your success. If you're successful, we're successful. If you're happy, we're happy. So thank you so much for joining us.
Great. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.